The Riverwalk in San Antonio, Texas is a popular tourist attraction. And just a few miles west is Lackland Air Force Base, where thousands of new recruits are trained each year. It's also host to this year's elite military boxers who are duking it out in the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship. Hello, everyone, and welcome to TPC Sports coverage of the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship. And a special hello to those watching on AFN. I'm Van Stokes here with boxing historian Bert Sugar. Bert, it's great to have you with us tonight, and particularly resplendent in this tie.
Isn't this nice? Someone said I look like I just stepped out of the pages of Esquire at the publisher's request, but I thought I'd wear this for you.
Well, very colorful and very representative of what we're about tonight, the tie. A lot of boxers depicted on the tie, and we're going to watch a lot of boxing tonight because we're going to take you ringside to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas for all of the action in the 178-pound weight class. The Army's Jeffrey Spencer of Gary, Indiana, faces off against Marines Felix Magallanes of Huntsville, Texas. Specialist Jeffrey Spencer is stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, and he's a member of the Army's world-class athlete program. Spencer was the 2010 Armed Forces champion and credits much of his team for a lot of his success.
Well, as a team sport, you know, you build a lot of close relationships with your teammates because you're grinding it out, blood, sweat, and tears with these same guys every day over and over, you know, working on different things with these guys as well as them helping you get better as in you helping them get better. And as far as individually, I mean, it's personal growth. There's a lot of personal growth in this sport because you can't stop learning. Once you stop learning, you need to get out of the game because then you get yourself hurt. Once you feel like you know everything there is to know, you have to be a student in the game, as they say.
Spencer's opponent is Marine Lance Corporal Felix Magallanes. He's a metal worker stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Here's his strategy heading into this bout and a message for his fellow Marines.
I just want to represent for everybody out there, for the ones in Afghanistan and the ones on the Muse and the ones that aren't with their families right now and during the holidays, and for the past and future Marines to come.
So, Bert, these two boxers, one's a learner, one sends out a message, maybe not a lot perhaps from those interviews, but early on preliminary bouts are important.
Oh, they are, and this is a very important weight class, too. Ask some of the great light heavyweights who've come up through them, like Leon Spinks and others. But what you're looking at is the development of fighters. And very importantly, what Magallanes just said, he's fighting for others. This is important. This is what this is about, the pride, the dedication, and their branch of the service.
Most important, well said. Spencer's been in the sport 9 years, and Magallanes for 8. It's going to be a bit of a difference, but let's go to the action if we can. It's the Army versus the Marines. Let's turn it over to ring announcer Castle Chalice.
All right, folks, making his way to the red corner, he's representing the United States Army. He's a cook from Gary, Indiana, now stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. He's decorated, all right, 2010 national champion, 2010 Armed Forces champion, 2010 SISM champion. Let's hear it for Jeffrey Mayhem Spencer.
Bert, all you heard was champion, 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 champion. So this is a man who's been here before. Let's meet his opponent, who is also standing in the wings, waiting to come out as well.
And now, making his way to the blue corner, representing the United States Marines. He's a tank mechanic from Huntsville, Texas, now stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Let's hear it for Felix Magallanes.
Magallanes with the Marine Corps flag behind him, and of course, as you heard him in the short interview that we caught up to him with prior to the start of this bout, Bert, the entire Marine Corps behind him.
Oh, as always, they're representing their branch of the service, and they want to do right by it. And I really understand why Jeffrey Spencer for the Army is a national champion. As a food specialist and cook, he had to defend his meals many times.
From West Branch, Michigan.
Let's take a quick look at the amateur rules that are going to govern this competition. The bouts are 3 rounds of 3 minutes each with a 60-second rest period in between. The judges will be using a computerized scoring system. Now, the blows are scored when the white part of the glove strikes the head or the body. Remember, 3 out of 5 judges must score a blow within a 1-second window. And fouls are administered by the third man in the ring in the form of cautions, warnings, or even disqualification. The referee can stop a bout at any time for an injury or a dominant lead. Well, there are the gloves tapped in the center of the ring. They're back to their corners. Quick look around the ring will assure that the judges are ready. The timer is ready. And this bout is underway.
And we're ready.
And we're ready as well, which is also a significant accomplishment, I might add.
I hope they're more prepared than we are.
We'll see. Rest assured of this, Jeffrey Spencer been here many, many times. And quickly tries to get out and find a home.
Well, he's the one that's initiating the action here early in the first round. I think he's looking forward to finding out if Magallanes has a weakness. Not much known about him. Waiting for Magallanes to lead so he can counter. And does.
A little cautious early on, but you can expect to see that in the first minute of the first round of this 3-round preliminary bout in the light heavyweight division. And we talked about the storied division of the middleweights earlier, and this is also a storied division in its own right. The light heavies.
Well, the light heavyweights are important. I have to tell you how they started way back in 1903. You went from middleweight to heavyweight, and it was a large discrepancy in weight from 160 pounds to 175 and up. And they put this class in, and it has become a very important and storied class.
Nice flurry that time by Jeffrey Spencer. He's got the Army black and gold on with the red gloves and the red headgear. As we are approaching the 1-minute mark here in the first round. Now, the light heavyweights, the last light heavyweight Olympic champion from the military was Andrew Maynard. That was in 1988 in Seoul, Korea.
And Maynard was a heck of a fighter.
He won the gold, as did his teammates Ray Mercer and Kennedy McKinnon.
Well, Ray Mercer's a very underestimated fighter. He extended Lennox Lewis, and many thought he won in a decision. And his knockout of Tommy Morrison was one of the most brutal you have ever seen.
Well, not a lot of brutality in this particular bout right here, Bert. You'd look perhaps for Jeffrey Spencer to be pouring it on, but the fact that he's a defending champion, he's not doing that. He knows he just wins this bout and he will move on to the championship bout.
And a lot of times they don't take chances because they do know that and don't want to be hurt or cut, because even if they win, they cannot go on if they are.
Certainly they want to outscore, outpoint, and outskill their opponent.
But he's looking for more than a 1-0 lead, I promise you.
That he is, as he gets caution right there for use of his elbow, his forearm.
Well, that's not a bad punch. Rocky Marciano sort of initiated that. 1-0 is not exactly a runaway.
Not exactly perhaps the way that Jeffrey Spencer wanted to start this particular bout, but both boxers go to the corners now.
You gotta let me that right hand go. You're being very picky with that right hand. You got to let it go. And what he's doing is slipping too low. Lift him up with that right hand uppercut. Lift him up. Okay, remember, you're not getting that close anymore, but you are getting a little closer. Okay? He's going to run out of gas if you put a little pressure on him. He's going to run out of gas. Okay, but you got to let your hands go. Make him work a little bit. When you see him flat-footed, make him move. When he drops his head, go with the uppercut, the hook, and the straight right hand. If you touch him with that right hand, he's going to go down. I'm telling you.
Bert, what's the theory behind letting that right hand go?
Well, the uppercut is good. That if the man bends low, you can come up under him.
And then when you turn,
but he's got a punch.
No, when you turn, no, it's 1-0. When you turn, set right back up. Don't bounce back out. Okay? Just set back up.
And here you are in Spencer's corner. They're telling him not to bounce down and not to stay low. So they're telling Magallanes, come up with that uppercut because he's going to be there if he bends low. But meanwhile, throw the right hand. Do something there. Don't become just a defensive punching bag.
And right now, Spencer picks up an additional scoring blow to get this round underway. Round number 2. Again, a light heavyweight, 178 pounds. He looks cocked and ready, does Jeffrey Spencer.
And he's already picked up more points in this round than he did the entire first round.
He has, Bert, but one thing about Spencer, if you'll notice, he drops his gloves sometimes.
Well, that's what they were telling Magallanes in the corner.
The other thing you'll notice about Spencer, who is a world military champion, is the plain and simple fact that he packs power.
Oh, look, both of them are throwing them as if they're trying to air condition the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rows. If one of those lands, they'll air condition the other, their opponent, the other combatant. Nice lefts in there, not counted, but landed by Magallanes.
I agree. And had you and I had the computerized scoring system, we might have tabulated a blow for that. But he does pick up 1 point. Trails right now 5-1 as this bout dips under the midway point scheduled for 3.
There was that uppercut he's trying, and again, and it landed.
Again. You saw the head of Spencer bounce back.
And I'm surprised they didn't tabulate that a point.
I concur. We have a good shot at it from our seats, so we can see clearly sometimes some of the scoring blows that maybe the judges seated around different sides of the ring may not be able to see.
Well, after last night, I'm not sure I saw it, but I think I did. Nice flurry by Spencer.
Jeffrey Spencer, I mentioned power, Bert, but he's got speed and quickness as well. When he decides to use it, like that.
But this is no walkover. Magallanes is trying that right hand and everything uppercut, including the left hook, because Spencer is staying low. See that? He ducks down, and Magallanes is hopeful of connecting, coming up and under. And Spencer figures it's a bad bargain. They can't run both ways. He throws an uppercut.
If he had pockets, he would put his hands in his pockets of his trunks. That's how low he hangs them.
Well, he's scratching his kneecap, for crying out loud. That's what he's doing. He's sort of taunting Magallanes. Come on in. I got you covered, but he doesn't always. Still close. Still close as round number 2 comes to a close. Both boxers return to their corners. The referee, of course, backs over to the neutral corner, but he keeps an eye on each boxer. Let's see what Jesse Ravello has to tell his young boxer.
In this last round, you got to go to war with him. Okay, you're stronger than he is. Okay, you're smarter than he is. You got to go to war in this last round. You only got 3 minutes. This is the last round. After this, you ain't got no more. Come on, let's go to the finals, man. Go to war with this guy. This guy cannot hang with you. He's gonna die. He's already tired. Like you're giving him too much room to work. Okay?
That's a terminology that Marines understand when they say let's go to war.
That's their battle cry.
That is their battle cry. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back for round 3, we'll have a look at 178-pound preliminary and how it ends. Plus, we'll get a breakdown of the rules and scoring in this competition from the tournament judges coming up later in the show. Welcome back. We dedicate our coverage of the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship to all those deployed downrange. We thank you for your service. Now let's get back to the action in the 178-pound preliminary in this third and final round. Soldier Jeffrey Spencer's got a good handle on Marine Felix Magallanes. Would you call that a handle, Bert, at an 8-2 lead, or would you say this is something he's got to pick up the tempo on, just stay cautious? What do you see as Spencer's approach right now?
Well, Spencer, who could be coasting, is actually piling up points. And it's up to Magallanes to really close the gap, and he is not doing what his corner told him to do.
But when he comes in close, Magallanes is the recipient of a lot of body blows by Jeffrey Spencer. But then Spencer backs away, drops his glove. Boom, quick flurry right there.
Well, but he's not exactly playing four-corner boxing. And here comes Magallanes.
But the defensive Spencer refuses to let him through.
And the inability of the judges to punch a button has not totaled and tallied up the points that I thought he just picked up, 2 of them.
Now he's been leaning on. He is cautioned against that. They're brought back out to the center of the rings. He tries to find a home for the right, couldn't.
Well, Magallanes is a gamer. He keeps coming in even when hit. And it's not for want of trying. It's for want of finding Spencer, who's got faster hands and moves in and out. There he just used a right-hand lead.
Again, the winner will move on to the gold medal match in the 178-pound light heavyweight division here in this 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championships.
And Spencer continues to widen his margin.
He does, you know, and he saunters backwards with those gloves down to his side.
But if Magallanes can't get to him, it matters not. See, he's taunting. He was setting up that uppercut.
He is quick, though. They may be down by his side, but he can bring them up quickly.
Well, Muhammad Ali always did. It depends on your speed. Look at that, 2 right hands. Of course, the judges, per usual, didn't count at either of them.
As this bout comes to a close, and an appreciative applause by the fans.
And a nice display by Spencer. And Magallanes put on a very good but game exhibition. He's got room for growth, and I think he will.
That was it. That was enough, so they say. And it was a game fight. Not one that set the house afire, Bert, but nonetheless a game fight by both of these fighters, with Jeffrey Spencer gaining the upper hand and moving on. So each boxer back to the corners of their respective opponents, shakes hands with their coaches.
And soon they'll be called to the center of the ring for the ceremonial winner's hand being raised by the referee.
It's the official announcement, so let's go to Castle for the official call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a winner tonight by retirement. The winner is, out of the red corner, Jeffrey Spencer.
See what Spencer has to say about his performance.
Well, Jeffrey, that was a hard-fought battle. Despite you busting him up in the second round, he just kept coming forward, rather. What were your thoughts? He was pretty durable, huh?
Yeah, he was very durable. It was a good fight. I mean, he pushed me a little bit. He's one of them sturdy fighters. You can't just, no matter what you hit him with, they're going to keep coming. So he definitely made me stay on my angles and my toes.
Congratulations, everyone. Let's hear it for your winner, Jeffrey Spencer.
So Jeffrey Spencer will move on and have an opportunity to win, again, another Armed Forces gold medal. And Bert, in Olympic-style boxing, the bout can be stopped in a number of different ways. One of them being the referee can stop the contest due to blows to the head, or if the referee feels that one boxer might be outclassed, but also the coach in the corner, as we have seen, can retire the boxer, throw in the towel, so to speak. Does a boxer sometimes not have enough knowledge to see what's going on? Does it take a coach to do that?
Well, I'm going to rephrase that. It's up to the corner to be the first line of defense. Most fighters are fearless. They'll take anything, just as you will any insult from me. It's up to the corner to protect that fighter, and that's what happened here. And it wasn't that Magallanes wasn't putting up a good effort, a game effort, but he was on the receiving end and wasn't going to win. And the corner rightfully said, you know, you've done a good job. That's enough. You'll be back another day. And that's what they ensured.
Another growth experience. Well, up next, we'll get the inside scoop on the amateur boxing rules in this tournament. Plus, which service will take home the gold in the championship bout in the 178-pound weight class. It's Army versus the Navy, facing off in the finals. One of the unique features of the Armed Forces Boxing Tournament is the running scorecard for each of the bouts. Now, you don't normally see that in amateur boxing, and you definitely don't see that at the professional level. Isn't that right, Bert?
It's never, there is a movement of foot, and I hope it stays a foot to do it. It's a totally different sport and is judged totally by different standards. And the running total tells you what they see in terms of a tangible rather than an intangible subjective determination of who won a round.
Also, it makes a difference in the eyes of the boxers if they may not know where they are within a given bout.
Well, it's up to the corners to tell them. They've got more concerns on their hands than the running total, but it at least tells the corner, as we have seen, even in the previous bout, where they said you've got to unsheath your gloves, you've got to land them. In effect, he was telling them he was behind.
Take your weapons out of their cases and let's go to battle. Well, let's go back to Castle for an explanation of the rules and the scoring.
We're here with Spence Carpenter, AIBA official. Spence, can you explain to us the importance of a boxer landing a blow with the white part of the glove to the body or the face of his opponent?
Certainly. In amateur boxing, the scoring area covers from the top of the head, the ears, down across the belt line. The singlet pretty much delineates that. For a point to count, they have to land the white part of the glove in that area without being blocked or deflected, with the weight of the shoulder behind it. At that point, there are 5 judges at ringside. If 3 of those judges hit their button within a 1 second time frame, you'll see a point come up on the monitor.
Can you explain to us the importance of the standing 8 count in amateur boxing?
Certainly, the standing 8 count in amateur boxing is nothing but a safety feature for us. It does not count anything against the athlete receiving the 8 count. It's just a chance for us to look at the athlete and determine if he's ready to continue.
And now he's going to take an 8 count. That he did.
Spence, can you explain to us when it's important for the referee to stop the contest?
Sure. The main concern of the referee in the ring is the safety of the athlete. If you see us stop the bout, it's usually purely a safety issue. We do not want that athlete to get hurt. We want him to be able to box again. It would be comparable to a TKO maybe in the pros, although we don't have that. Referee stops contest.
Up next, the championship bout in the 178-pound weight class. Which service will take home gold, Army or the Navy? Stick around to find out on TPC Sports. Here it is, the championship bout in the 178-pound weight class. The Army's Jeffrey Spencer of Gary, Indiana, faces off against the Navy's Brandon Wicker of Taunton, Massachusetts. Specialist Jeffrey Spencer's MOS, military occupational specialty, is food service specialist. He's an Army chef. In the ring, he hopes to smoke the competition. He's the 2010 Armed Forces champion with a host of other titles under his belt. Here's how he got his start in boxing and what he likes best about the sport.
I'm the big dog, best beware. You coming with me?
Oh, I love the one-on-one. You know, it's survival of the fittest, only the strong survive. So I guess it's a good way to show the alpha male, I guess you could say. I would say I'm more like I guess you could say a boxer puncher, because I can punch and brawl when I have to, but for the most part, my primary style is boxing. I use my hand speed and my movement to frustrate my opponents.
I'm in the game for real, it pays to chill. I walk in the club and they front the bill. I'm the big dog, best beware.
I'm just gonna stay relaxed and continue to do what I've been doing. I've been having a lot of success with my style this year, or last year as well, so I'm gonna go out there, stay relaxed and stay technically sound, because, you know, he's a pretty slick guy, so I'm gonna stay on my P's and Q's and stay technical.
Spencer's opponent is sailor Brandon Wicker, a hospital corpsman out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Here's Wicker's plan to improve his performance in the ring.
I fought Spencer last year. That was a good experience. He's really talented, so I learned a lot off that. And I've been watching the show from last year, the clips, and just seeing the little stuff, you know. I got to watch my whole fight with Anthony, and they fight similar to each other, so I got a lot of vital information off that.
Lights on, I see your face. She eat me up, she got expensive taste.
Keeps me in shape. It gives me something to kind of work hard for. It's really motivating, because when I go back to my command, there's guys that just joined the Navy and they hear about what I'm doing and they want to stay positive and do other things, and you know, it's really good all around for everybody. It's not just for me, so it helps.
I see you dreaming, but you're still awake. Big slices, that's how you cut the cake.
By us doing this boxing is really a morale booster. There's guys and women all over the world doing everything out to sea, you know, overseas in Afghanistan, everywhere, doing hard work, and we're here doing this. So when they get their liberty and they just pop on, you know, the channel, the Pentagon channel, and watch TV, they get to see their branch fight, and it's just a morale boost that gets their mind off of whatever else is going on. So that really, you know, helps.
So, Bert, both of these boxers have 9 years of experience, but Spencer's a defending champion. Now, does that make a difference?
Well, it may, but it depends where Wicker said he learned a lot. But I also like what else Wicker said. He's not doing it just for himself. He's doing it for the troops. And this is what this is about. And it was a nice plug for the Pentagon channel. I don't want you to miss that. But no, he learned. He admitted he learned. He admitted experience, and that's the growth of a boxer. The question is, can he now translate that into action?
Well, we are pleased, certainly, Bert, that we're able to bring this competition to you on the Pentagon channel. Well, let's get to the action. Soldier Jeffrey Spencer and sailor Brandon Wicker are ready to face off. Let's go to ring announcer Castle Chalice.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring for the 178-pound contest, representing the U.S. Army out of the red corner, he is a cook from Gary, Indiana. He's now stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. He is the 2010 National Champion, Armed Forces Champion, and SISM Champion. Let's hear it for Jeffrey Spencer.
Jeffrey Spencer pops into the ring literally with a burst of energy.
Well, he's going through the obligatory bows to the judges, and he did it quicker than anybody else we've seen.
Making his way to the blue corner, he's representing the United States Navy. He's a hospital corpsman from Taunton, Massachusetts, now stationed at Naval Hospital, Camp Lejeune. Let's hear it for Brandon Wicker.
He's excited to be there, Van.
He should be, Bert. I mean, just as Spencer came in full of energy, Wicker comes in with his own fortitude. He is ready to go and pleased to be there, and this is going to be a good one. We've got a world champion, a world military champion in Jeffrey Spencer, and the national champion, and the defending armed forces champion in Jeffrey Spencer, and his opponent Brandon Wicker of the United States Navy. A formidable task, to say the least.
Well, they fought once before, and Wicker says he's learned, so let's see what he's learned.
But we'll certainly have that opportunity as they take the final steps. Put the safety gear in place, checked by the ring official, and we'll take the time to get it all checked. A quick handshake with the coaches. I think about this competition, there's your smile. You got to like that. You're right, Bert. He is pleased to be here.
I wave back at him. I'm pleased to be here too, Van.
And you're not alone. We're all pleased to be here and bringing this to you on TPC Sports. Underway, light heavyweight division gold medal bout. This was the one won by Cassius Clay, 1960 gold medal performance.
Then Cassius Clay.
Then Cassius Marcellus Clay.
And just in case you're wondering, Brandon Wicker, blue Navy left-handed, unorthodox. Jeffrey Spencer in the all-gold Army colors.
And he gets off a couple of shots. Nice cover, nice defense, if you will, by Jeffrey Spencer. But I don't think Wicker is the least bit awed by some of the platitudes that I just shared.
Nor the platypuses either.
Good look at Brandon Wicker in the blue. Jeffrey Spencer in the Army black and gold with the red headgear and red gloves.
Wicker is giving away height and weight, and yet he's trying to find his way inside and has occasionally. And here's Wicker coming in again on Spencer.
Wicker very quick.
Well, he's economical, efficient and economical, but he's not as busy. In fact, I'm almost getting seasick watching the naval Brandon Wicker. He's bobbing up and down, moving, trying to keep Spencer off balance.
It's a bob and weave, and we have not used that term that much, but the bob and weave is the up and the down and the off balance approach as you just described.
Well, I didn't describe
it. As you just noted, and I described.
Yes. I'm still waiting for the chef, Jeffrey Spencer, to dish something out.
Well, you know, sometimes he was introduced as a cook, but he is in fact a certified chef and has been so, been cooking for 12 years. He has a 2-point lead right now, has scored 2 scoring blows that the judges have seen as we're under 1 minute in the first round of this light heavyweight division.
Again, as you've said so often in broadcasts, a scoring punch is one that is delivered with the white part of the glove and is counted by 3 of the 5 judges ringside within a second window. 1 second. Hit the button. Let's go.
And Wicker, nice coverage right there, Bert.
Well, that's part of that bobbing and weaving and slipping punches.
That it is, and Jeffrey Spencer is having a hard time delivering a sizable meal or serving up a dish, if you will, at this point in time against the opponent, Brandon Wicker. Although he has a 3-point lead here as we come into the final seconds of the first round. And there's the bell to end round number 1. Slight advantage at this point to Jeffrey Spencer as the boxers return to their corners.
You're seeing the beginning of some sort of pattern, but it's not taken shape yet. Of Wicker coming in and Spencer out punching him.
Let's see what George Silva, his coach, has to say.
You're waiting on him a little bit too much. I need you to come out a little bit more aggressive. You make your fight. You're not making your fight. Understand? Okay, so I need some points out of you. Right? Now Now, when you're aggressive like that, he's going to run away from you. Don't get overzealous with it. Don't reach. Okay.
Bert, there's a fine balance there between waiting too much and not being overzealous, is there not?
I haven't heard the word overzealous in a corner in years, but he's right. In other words, move in on him, but don't get wild.
In other words, stay under control.
That's, I think, what he meant by overzealous.
But be aggressive.
Well, he needs him. He needs him to take the battle, as he tried immediately.
He came flying out of the corner, did he not?
Take the battle to Spencer.
Battle Warriors terminology these boxers are very familiar with here in the Armed Forces Championships. We've talked about combat readiness, physical fitness, all of those ingredients that go into making a successful service member, as well as great boxers.
Well, here's Spencer picking up another point. Is this a payback for last year's Army-Navy football game where Navy outclassed Army? Now it's Army's turn?
Trust me, these guys have probably not given that a single thought.
No, but I'm sure some of the people watching have.
They may have, and we talk about rivalries, and rivalries is a nice concept within the world of sports, but within boxing, it sets itself up very, very nice in the Armed Forces Boxing Championships, where you have Army versus Navy, or Marine Corps versus Army, or Air Force versus Navy. The rivalries are inherent in the competition.
In fact, the Army-Navy football rivalry is one of the great rivalries of all sports.
That it is. That it is. Almost like your alma mater, the University of Michigan, and that school down south.
Yeah, whatever it is.
The Ohio State University.
The Ohio State University. Is that so that the students aren't confused with the other 27?
Look at that. Look at that.
And a half.
Look at that.
You can't do that.
No, and the referee steps in very clearly to clean up that action.
Just to finish the thought about the Ohio State University, it's so that the other 28 schools that are called Ohio State aren't confused with the Ohio State University, or the students might think so.
Well, there's certainly no confusion over this bout right now as Jeffrey Spencer is taking a 5-point lead.
And it's still close enough, though. 5 points is really within reach or within punch.
That it is, Bert, and we've seen that in this competition, as a matter of fact. But look at Wicker. He will not back down. He is following his coach's advice. He has yet to...
He's the most live 5-0 I've ever seen in this
I was just getting ready to say, he has yet to score a point, but you want to know what? He has been active with a capital A.
Look at that. And he made Spencer miss twice. Great defense. You don't score on defense, but I've got to give him at least a silent point or two there.
And you see the quickness. You see the quickness and the speed right there of Jeffrey Spencer, who drops those gloves and then moves to deliver a
but
quick
look at
blow.
Wicker coming in and delivering and staying out of harm's way. Again, you don't get points in amateur for defense in amateur boxing, but I'm impressed by Wicker, his ability to get inside and not get hit.
Oh, he picks up a point, stays with it as round number 2 comes to a close. This is the light heavyweight division. Armed Forces Boxing Championships, the gold medal match. It's going to come down to one final round. Let's see what these coaches have to say. Head coach Bashir Abdullah from the Army.
6-1, that's good punch. Hey, you gotta give him credit. His defense a little tight. Alright, a little tight. Now, instead of going to 6 to 7 first, go with the 9 to 4s first when you go under. Okay, go from here first and then.
Birdie's talking about a 5-4 combination, which means up front with the head and then down low. Good sound advice.
Yes, and Customato is the one who started that, giving numbers to areas of the body.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round 3 when this 178-pound championship bout continues. Right now, Spencer's in the lead. Will it stay that way? Stay tuned to TPC Sports to find out. Welcome back to the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship. Now let's get back to the action in the 178-pound gold medal bout, where soldier Jeffrey Spencer has a safe lead, or can we call it that?
You might say safe lead, Van, but it is a surmountable one if Wicker can deliver more than a few punches that really turn the tide and are visible to the judges, you must emphasize.
Well, safety is a paramount factor, just the idea of safety inside the ring, and certainly the ring official always has that in mind. But when it comes right down to it, Bert, as you can see right there by that flurry of punches against the rope, number one, you're never really fully safe in the ring, are you?
No, and Spencer's corner told him, you know, just play it easy, you've got it, stay away, almost as if, you know, just relax, it's yours, just sort of wait it out, four corners it. That's not to be done. A good shoulder to the midriff is not what this is all about.
Especially when you bury that shoulder and lift your opponent's feet off of the canvas.
Maybe he does think he's in the Army-Navy football game.
Wicker ducking down low, just like that, will eventually get cautioned for keeping his head upright. And that's exactly what happens. As you see, the head
ducking. That's a professional move.
The head ducking below the belt. That's against the rules in amateur boxing. So he gets warned and cautioned.
It really is a slick move. Irregardless, and there's no such word, but irregardless of what the referee says.
But I have seen boxers from point to point, Bert, actually duck down like that and then be on the end, the receiving end.
Well, then an uppercut is in order.
You got it. That stands him up upright, fast.
Or downright.
Oh, a swing and a miss. I felt the breeze all the way over here.
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise.
You talk about quickness. Jeffrey Spencer. Not scoring, but you see it, the quickness in him, real fast.
And again, Wicker is always on the attack, always on the other end of chasing down Spencer, but to no avail.
To no avail because he cannot get the white portion of the glove into the scoring area on the body of Jeffrey Spencer.
And his hands aren't that fast. But he still reminds me a little bit, left-handed as he is as well, of Pernell Whitaker. You couldn't hit him in the backside with a handful of buckshot. He's so elusive.
Jeffrey Spencer, knowing where he is in this bout, he leads 11-2. Knows where he is in the ring.
And this is 30 seconds to go.
And this is round 3, 30 seconds remaining, Bert. Bobs, weaves, covers, and then ducks out of the corner. Nicely done by Jeffrey Spencer. We come down to 10 seconds remaining in this light heavyweight championship bout.
And it looks like the chef has dished up a pretty dish.
Well, that he has as this bout comes to a close. A quick hug by both boxers, and they return to their corners, and Jeffrey Spencer, skill-wise, craftsman-like, has cooked up a pretty good dish, as you said. And it will, as you said, and it will have a gold medal on it.
And it sets him up for the Olympic tryout.
Very nice performance by a talented boxer, Jeffrey Spencer, but credit Brandon Wicker. He just kept coming and coming and was a gamer throughout, although he came out on the backside of the judges' scorecard. So let's go back to Castle for the official call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. He is out of the red corner, Jeffrey Spencer.
Jeffrey Spencer, the 2010 Armed Forces champion, now the 2011 Armed Forces champion. He's the world military champion as well as the national champion. Let's see what he's got to say to Castle Chalice, who's standing by, ready to interview this young man.
Well, Jeff, that was a rematch from last year's bout. where you and Brandon also gave the fans a show. You wiped up just about every title in 2010, and now here a big major one in 2011. How you feeling?
Feeling great. I'm staying on the road to 2012. Everything's looking good so far, so it's full steam ahead.
What are your thoughts about the Olympic trials now that they're right on your doorstep?
I'm feeling real good going into them. Like, I know I'm gonna be there when it's over with. All said and done, when the smoke clears, I'll be there.
And what's next for Jeffrey Spencer?
We have the Pan Am qualifiers coming up next month, so get back in the gym, go back to the drawing board, and work on that.
You got any special words you'd like to say to your friends and family back at home?
Everybody out there that support Team Spencer, love you.
All right, back there in Gary, Indiana, thank you and good luck. Congratulations. Everyone, Jeffrey Spencer.
Jeffrey Spencer, Bert, once again the light heavyweight champion of the armed forces. They all have the Olympic dream, the wish. But does this young man, he's at the top of the list, does he have what it takes to get there?
Oh, I think so. He's got a great style. He is very polished. And he put on a heck of a performance. And I like his chances as 2012 gets closer, the London Olympics. And America needs, one hesitates to tell you, a couple good wins. We didn't have them in the last Olympics. I mean, it's almost back to Oscar De La Hoya. We need wins. Jeffrey Spencer and some of the fighters we've seen in this tournament offer the chance for America to come away with those wins.
Jeffrey Spencer could be that man to bring the wins back to the United States of America. Well, join us next time for more coverage on the 2011 Armed Forces Boxing Championship. I'm Van Stokes, and on behalf of my friend Bert Sugar and our entire crew here at TPC Sports, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.